Now, I want to tell you a story that's in the state of New York that has national implications for several different reasons. One is that it shows us how politics is actually played, and it's a fascinating look. It's about Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York. He's backed a public financing bill. Now, that's great. Public financing is enormously important, and it could have national implications because New York can lead the country in this. But does he actually back it? And can he actually get the job done? Those are really interesting questions. Well, the American Prospect has written about this, and it's a great tale of politics in America. They explain Governor Andrew Cuomo has beaten the drum, declaring his support in State of the State addresses and other speeches. But now, with just 2 weeks left in the session, the efforts have stalled, and Cuomo has not actively championed the issue. Now, this is interesting because Cuomo, of course, actively championed gay rights issues in his state, and it made all the difference. So that's how he got his reputation as a man who can get things done. Well, terrific. Well, we're happy about that. Now, can he get it done in this case? I don't know. Or is he going to be ineffective? Or is he really trying? So now they continue saying, some are starting to worry whether public financing might become a victim of Cuomo's presidential ambitions. Aha! This is where it gets interesting. Now, why wouldn't he want to do public financing if he said he was in favor of public financing? And the great majority of Democrats and progressives in this country are in favor of public financing. So how would it hurt his ambitions if he was in favor of something he said he was in favor of? Well, let's find out. Let's go a little further into the story. Now, you have to understand how popular this bill is. First of all, they explain Facebook co-founder and New Republic editor Chris Hughes in favor of it. Entertainment executive Barry Diller in favor of it. And even Bill Donaldson, the Republican former chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission. So it has bipartisan support. Those are powerful allies. Check, check, check. How about the people of New York? Some say, oh, well, these bills cost a lot of money. The Republicans claim it costs $80 million. That's nonsense. One, it's not true. And second of all, the amount of money not publicly financing elections cost us is so much more than that, as our representatives unfortunately take legalized bribes, then give rewards back for the bribes that they have received. I'm sorry, they call them donations, right? And that costs the government 10 times, 100 times as much money. Anyway, it doesn't matter because the people of New York are onto this, no matter what the propaganda that's put out there about the cost. 61% of New Yorkers support public campaign funding. So this should be easy. Cuomo says he's in favor of it. The people of New York are in favor of it. He's got powerful allies that are in favor of it. Now, to be fair, even though the Democrats are in the majority in both houses in New York, there's this weird alliance between some independent Democrats as a splinter group and the Republicans. And they don't allow the Democratic bills to go forward because they have to come to an agreement on what bill goes forward. Now, look, that's a legitimate problem to have in New York. But obviously, Cuomo's gotten past that problem when he wanted to in the past, but he hasn't done it here. Why? I don't know. Maybe he's not all that he's hyped up to be. So this whole idea that he's going to run in 2016, oh, this guy can get anything done. Well, here's something that should be incredibly easy to get done. And you can't get this done? Again, let's take a look into why that might be the case. An American Prospect, again, terrific article on this, gets into the details. They explain the person who can bring the most pressure to bear has been absent from the negotiation table so far. Andrew Cuomo is known for his ability to use the bully pulpit to force political opponents into line, and he's worked successfully with Republicans. So why is he absent? However, the governor in this case, they explain, has not put his muscle behind it the way he did same-sex marriage. Rather than waging a hard PR campaign around the state, the governor has stayed out of the way. Again, two possible explanations. One, he doesn't really want to do it, which we'll get to why in 1 second. Or maybe he thinks, I'm actually not that good. I can't get these Republicans to play ball. I have this image because it worked a couple of times early on, but I better run away from every other fight because I can't win it. I'm actually not effective. So he doesn't want to be proven to be impotent here, which, by the way, is far more damning. If you're afraid of being impotent, that says a hell of a lot about your potency. So one more piece of explanation here that's really telling. With the GOP in control, he doesn't need to worry about legislation going too far to the left. When it comes to campaign finance, some advocates worry that Cuomo wants credit for his lip service to reform while also benefiting from the system that elected him. Now there we go. That seems like it's a little closer to true. So in the sense that he's thinking, hey, I'm a classic corporatist Democrat. I want all the money. This is the system that benefited me. I got to be governor by taking all that money. In fact, he's about to do a fundraiser that's $50,000 a head. Paul Simon is going to be singing at that fundraiser. There's now a movement by Move On and Progressive Change Campaign Committee to get a petition to petition Paul Simon to not sing there, saying, look, if he's going to be hypocritical about this, you should not reward him by going to this fundraiser. I think that's absolutely right. Now, are you going to do it or you're not going to do it? And it's a classic corporatist Democratic move. You take the money, you pretend you're in favor of reform, and then meanwhile, at the same time, you say, look, I'm not too left, I'm not too right. In other words, I pretend to be left, but don't actually do anything about it. And then there is good news, though, because they're going to vote on this next week. So it's entirely possible that Cuomo says, now, wait a minute, now, you guys aren't being fair to me. I said those things about public campaign financing because I believe it, and you didn't give me a chance here to deliver. And you deliver oftentimes at the end. So the prospect explains, if Cuomo does throw himself into the fight and successfully passes a public financing program, it will be the most significant step forward to the reform community in years and go a long way towards closing the power gap between big and small donors. It's true, and it might even prompt other states to take a more serious look at passing similar legislation. So Cuomo's got about a week left. He could either be a goat and say, oh, well, it turns out I can't get things done, or he could be a hero and he could lead the nation in an incredibly important issue.